our weekly segment this week. There's been a lot of downers this week, or this past 3 years, 5 years. I don't know, however long downers. Let's give some praise to people in the industry. Atta Boy is our segment. Each of us will pick a person, company, or developer to shout out who's doing something great in the game industry or otherwise. Matt, you're our esteemed guest.
Well, thank you. I'll go first then. I mean, we talked about it in the pre-show a bit, sans Corey, but I do want to kind of give Game Informer its flowers. I think that running a print magazine in the year of our Lord 2024 seemed impossible, and after Friday now is impossible. But they were around for 33 years. They are easily one of the best gaming magazines to exist, gaming websites to exist. Had one of the best weekly podcasts. They were my news source even before I started editing the show. All of the folks over there who worked tirelessly to go to these places, write these cover stories, all the folks behind the scenes who did all of that stuff as well. I think that they all worked really hard to make that site what it was, and they should definitely not be forgotten. I mean, the entire staff that was laid off was, of course, the editor-in-chief Matt Miller, the magazine content director Kyle Hilliard, the online content coordinator Brian Shea, associate editors Wesley LeBlanc and Marcus Stewart, and Charles Hart. There was, of course, the video editor and one of the podcast hosts, along with Kyle Hilliard and Marcus Stewart, Alex Van Aken, who is my inroad to editing for the show. The production director, Margaret Andrews, the lead graphic designer, Leah Azarshan. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Graphic designer, Monica Ortiz. Web designer and programmer, John Woody. Operations manager, Sarah Hansen. And marketing coordinator, Rachel Castle. By the way, that was the full staff that made all of that shit happen.
12 people.
Which is wild. It was, of course, much more, and they continued to gut GameStop continued to gut that place over and over again. But I just wanted to give an opportunity and a formal thank you to Game Informer, because I mean, it changed. I mean, I've been rating Game Informer since I was like 8 years old, since it started. And to get to work for that publication in any capacity, as small as my role was a dream come true. So I'm glad I got to do it for 2 years. And it sucks that it's gone, but hopefully those folks will all land on their feet somewhere else.
Yeah. Man, you were doing that for 2 years?
Yep. 2 years. Started July 2 years ago.
Man. Yeah, I mean, Game Informer, what a, I don't mean to just pick the same one, but I also, Game Informer was gaming magazines for me after Nintendo Power, especially after Nintendo Power went away, right? Like, yeah, Game Informer was the magazine. I looked forward to getting it in the mailbox every week. I still did up until, last week, but I love flipping through the pages. I love looking at the cover art. I mean, Replay and Super Replay are literal weekly watches for me. I mean, I've been watching, that's how I found games like, Blue Stinger is probably my favorite one. I know that was probably like a decade ago at this point. Gosh, I mean, Tim Turry and Reiner and Dan Reichert were all still there, but like, still Majora's Mask and Banjo-Kazooie recently, like, Game Informer was just a staple in my gaming life, whether it was on in the background or I was, watching it while I was editing, or, listening to the Game Informer show every week. Like, and I still can't believe that institution was run by 12 people, plus, it's just nuts. I mean,
It's wild.
I remember when Ben Hansen left, and he kind of alluded to that they needed more people, and it was 23 people at that point.
Yeah.
and the fact that it was cut in half and still producing what they were producing, like, man, shout out to Game Informer. They're going to be missed. I mean, this is going to have a bigger ripple effect through the industry than just another magazine going away. I really think that the industry is going to feel this for a long time.
Agreed. Yeah, totally.
So,
yeah, the support on Twitter has been, very, very supportive, aside from the few griefers. But
griefers on Twitter? No.
What? Never.
Talking about the king griefer who came up with ways and how he would have saved the magazine.
Okay.
Oh no, that was Destiny. The ways he would save Destiny. But he also
we all have opinions on that.
For sure.
Yeah, but I guess my attaboy, I would like to give my attaboy to Dark Horse Comics.
Hell yeah.
Because recently at San Diego Comic-Con, they had 2 statues on display that might have hinted the revival of a really awesome niche video game series.
I know what you're talking
Or you can just go ahead and say it, Darksiders. You can just go ahead and say it.
It's not Darksiders.
It's not
Darksiders? What's the other one then?
Legacy of Kain.
Legacy of
Oh,
Kain.
that's right. Yeah.
They had 2 statues with a bar, like a QR code to scan, that rumored of a possible remaster. Which, boy, does that series need it. I replayed the first Soul Reaver recently for a different podcast that won't be out for a while, and I love that game. Aesthetics and vibes are still immaculate, but the controls are awful. God, the game just plays terribly. And it's a bummer because, like, I love the Legacy of Kain series. It was only like 4 or 5 games, but like I loved them. I thought they were great.
No, I mean, I would be excited to get the Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered that's being predicted. They really need to bring back the original, though, or at least remake it, just because there is so much story behind. I mean, that everything that happens in all the other games happened because of that one game.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
So, Blood Omen is also a part of that series, right?
Right. Blood Omen 1 and 2.
Yeah.
In fact, Blood Omen was the first game in the series, and then Soul Reaver, then Blood Omen 2, then
I think Soul Reaver 1 and then Soul Reaver 2, then Blood Omen 2.
Then Blood Omen 2. Yeah.
And then Defiance, which combined them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But Blood Omen was Kane's side of the story.
Yeah.
Soul Reaver was Raziel's side, and then Defiance combined the 2.
Yeah.
And we never got to see the end.
No.
Left it on that cliffhanger.
Yep. Yeah, there was supposed to be another game after Defiance, or maybe even 2, and then the series just died.
Man, I hate when series do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you mean like when Microsoft closed down a studio for one of the best-selling games, probably on the Xbox platform last year, made one of the best rhythm action games to ever exist, and then killed the studio, even though that game was considered a huge success? You mean stuff like that, Corey? Sorry, I'm still bitter.
Yeah, aren't we all? We're
like, I mean, look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you have an 808 shirt.
You know what? Speaking of that, like you know what? We should just put Microsoft in the penalty box. No Xbox game this year on the Bossies will be nominated for Game of the Year. So sorry, Senua's Saga.
I mean, to be fair, I love that game more than most people. I don't think that game's getting nominated for anything but art. By the way, it looks.
Well, no. I'm just saying, like Microsoft stepped in, and we talked about this, ad infinitum, episode after episode this year and stuff like that. So we don't have to talk about it that much right now. We don't need to talk about it at all. Actually,
as someone who loves the Xbox ecosystem, it's been infuriating for. I mean, it's been infuriating for like a decade, but it's also been infuriating the last year and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Hi-Fi Rush is probably one, like it's in my top 10 games of all time. It jumped up there after playing it, and
Did
it's
you
just
see what they said recently.
Yeah, it just kills me. I'm praying that limited run still comes out, because once they run out of the rights, the Steam game is going to get updated. We're going to lose all those custom tracks. So like all the the license tracks. So I want that PlayStation 5 disc version so I can keep that forever, because that game was damn near perfect, and it's just heartbreaking that studio got clobbered.
Yeah,
I mean, both studios, like, one bad game shouldn't have shot down Arcane Austin either, right? We all like they made so many great games, and like one bad game shouldn't have been the end of that studio.
Plus, like
Tango didn't have a bad game. All their games were gold.
Right. No, I know. I'm saying Austin. Well, I mean, arguably you could say Ghostwire Tokyo wasn't, but even still, I'm talking about like Redfall.
Sorry.
Redfall shouldn't have killed that studio, and any other like studio should be allowed to fail. Yeah. Sorry, I'm sidetracking us, but I'm still so mad about this because it's just ridiculous. It's wild.
We all feel the pain.
I wanted Ghostwire to hit so many other countries.
Look, if you ever want to, record a Microsoft rant podcast, Matt, you're more than welcome to jump on anytime, and we will all sit here with you.
I'm down. Seriously. No, I mean, I wanted to play Ghostwire. I have it on, I think, Epic, so I will eventually. But like, yeah, it's just like Microsoft
if you like
might
Japanese culture and like yokai and stuff. It's a fun game to learn from.
You know what else blows my mind about that? They've been trying to have a foothold in Japan for so long, and they finally have a Japanese studio with a business model that does not revolve around selling their own games, and they still close them.
Yeah. And again, Hi-Fi Rush was from a Japanese studio, and one of their most like it shadow dropped and blew up like gangbusters. They locked it on they put it on Game Pass, so of course we have no idea what the sales would have been like, but I bought it on Steam immediately after playing it on Game Pass and loving it because I wanted to support the damn studio.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Shame. Part of my attaboy goes out to Tango Gameworks. Those guys rule.
Yeah. I hope they turn up soon in another studio and make
something want awesome. I mean, John Johannes has talked about how he needs to step away, but like again, he's just so brilliant, and I really just want him to open his own studio, start somewhere else, file the serial numbers off of Hi-Fi Rush, and like just makes another game like that because it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
lo-fi beats.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Laurent, what's your attaboy this week?
Actually, to follow along with Pat, like my attaboy also goes to a comic book studio, Marvel, because I'm a fan of the Alien movie franchise, and of course when Alien Romulus comes out, like in a little while, like I will be in the theaters like cringing and everything because I can't stand seeing body horror, but I always like watch an Alien film. But if you guys, if I know you haven't seen it, Corey, but if you guys have seen Aliens, like James Cameron's the sequel to the original movie, they just did a what if storyline that said, what if Carter Burke had survived the Hadley's Hope incident, and it is a I think it's a five episode thing, five issue comic book series, written by Paul Reiser and his son. Along with a few other talented people over at Marvel Studios and stuff like that. And the illustrations are amazing. And basically like it talks about like when so like spoilers for anyone who's never seen Aliens. I don't know how the hell like you have not seen a movie from 1986 at this point, especially if you love like good horror films and you love James Cameron. But anyway, basically, when Burke gets separated from the from Ripley and the other people that are trying to make it out of the colony, and he gets snatched by a xenomorph, that's supposed to be the end of his story right there. Like we all know, like the one of them bastards gets you dead. Yeah, but while they were taking him to the nest, like a wall explodes nearby and stuff like that, and by the grace of whatever, like he's able to escape like captivity from the xenomorphs, and he's actually able to like stow away when Ripley, Newt, Hicks, and Bishop get off of the planet before the colony blows and stuff like that. And then just series of events, he hooks back up with the company and stuff like that, and the company is just pissed because like they were supposed to bring back a xenomorph specimen. And they're pissed because like not only did not bring back any xenomorph specimens, the entire colony was destroyed, which that's a major development for the company, PR nightmare for them and stuff like that. So they were basically going to have Burke to take the fall for it and everything like that. Burke was able to leverage himself and basically pull one over on the company, and the company was like, okay, fine. we'll play your game, but your corporate career, like you thought your career up the corporate ladder is done from here. And then just talks about like the ordeals he's gone through and stuff like that, and his path to redemption because like he turns on the company.
Wow.
And basically, even though like he was a sleaze in the movie, Paul Reiser did a wonderful job of playing that character, by the way. He was a sleaze in the movie and stuff like that, but he kind of gets a redemption arc as you read this 5-issue comic series and stuff like that. So that was cool. It was unexpected. I didn't even know it happened until I didn't even know it was out. Actually, so like by the time I heard it was out, like they were already on issue 3 with issue 4 coming out, and now all five issues are out now. I just haven't picked up the last issue yet, so I don't know how it ends and stuff like that. But it is good. It's good. It's written well. Wonderful hand drawn artwork and stuff like that. It's good. So like if you're a fan of particularly the Aliens movie, the second movie, you like the franchise and stuff like that, and you kind of want to see how things could have possibly went if it went a different way, before we got to the events of Alien 3. Grab these 5 comics. You can find them on the shelf. I was in a comic book shop over the weekend, and every copy was available from issue 1 up to 4. Actually, 5, and 5 has a variant cover. So there's 2 editions of issue 5. Yeah,
nice. That sounds awesome.
Nice. I like what if storylines.
I like extended universes too. Like when the Buffy comics, a lot of them were really great. Also, showing the different routes that the Buffy the Vampire story could take. Like I love that kind of stuff. Yeah.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.